They should know about this
So,
already, or something.
new players, Sas, you can share the news that you've recently graduated from new player status.
Still
Congratulations.
rather newbie. I only looked into the
So,
magic. I haven't looked into every
Carl,
part of the
technically,
game.
Carl isn't a new player either because he knows about some of the things, but he could use some
Mhm.
work. So he's not veteran. You've moved to veteran. My veterans at this table are Will, Meme Name, and you. You have graduated from newbie to
I'm not a.
What?
middling to veteran, Sas.
I. 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 Again. Thank you. I would say that I do not have a sophisticated. Too much to say that I'm a veteran. I think I looked into the magic a lot,
Well,
but not into
you
all the
I
facets
are
of the game.
able to
pulled
make
up
your own
my
character build, and they're somewhat decent. And you're also looking into things on your spare time
Just gotta
more
just sort
than
of I don't want to be
nothing.
honest.
So, veteran
It is more
status
than
it
nothing.
is.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Now
Anyways,
see,
you
Matt.
also don't look at these things in the middle of session. So, anyways, on to
yeah.
our crash course today. I'm streaming this, so hello everyone. Professor
Hello.
Magnum is in attendance today to give you a crash course on
Aw,
magic and magic items.
Professor Magnum.
Yes, Professor
Here we
Magnum
go.
at your service. So, rather than doing this outright and just giving you a lecture, because I don't have a lecture prepared, today we are going to do the lecture Socratic style. Do any of you know what that means?
Means you're gonna
Well, I know
ask
the
why until we get to an answer.
No, it means I'm
Socratic
going to ask
method
you
is.
questions until you are failing to
Mm.
answer correctly.
Oh god.
A
That's
Well,
right.
Socratic
we're gonna
seminar
fail
is
the
different than
answer.
a Socratic lecture. A Socratic lecture is me asking you questions, and then if we go around the whole group and no one gets a question correct, then you then instead. By the way, I am giving you like 2 minutes to answer this question. You can look it up. Here's the
Well,
reward for answering the question correctly. You get a hero point per question you answer correctly.
Hooray.
So,
hooray!
my first question, we're gonna go to Sas. Sas, what. Explain to me the two categories of weapon and armor runes.
Well, one, uh, sort of within the name itself, a weapon is for weapon room. At the basis,
And we're
weapon
moving on
is
to the
for
next
weapons.
per.
And what?
So
I thought you said 2 minutes. I thought.
I said 2 minutes, but don't lock in your answer. The actual answer I'm looking for. This is not a fair one, I guess. There are two types of runes for those type of items. You have 1 second.
Yeah,
I am making
fundamental and
sure.
potency runes.
Yes, fundamental and potency runes. Fundamental runes are +1, and striking are +1, and resilient runes. And Will, what are potency runes? Give me a couple examples.
Fire rune, electric rune, for weapons. Well, there's a bunch of others that are goofy, like heat
Invisibility
rune.
rune.
There's like speed rune for like
Mm-hmm.
armor or weapons that works too. Uh,
So an
yeah,
extra hero point to you, Will. Good job.
yeah.
I don't see the
So
difference between the two.
a
So
plus
the
one.
fundamental ones are very specific that basically everybody gets
Every
on
weapon
all
can
their items,
use.
and then
Yeah.
potency runes are flexible where you can customize really.
So, to give you an example, a flaming rune gives you a d6 or a plus a d10 persistent fire damage on a
No, it's a
crit.
D6.
No, it's a
Yeah,
d6
D10 crit. Yeah, for persistent.
d10
Yeah.
crit persistent. Yeah. So, but you wouldn't get fire damage on your weapon from a striking rune. So, but your weapon gets an additional point of damage for a striking rune. So basically every weapon has the ability to get a striking weapon. Another important key point about these runes, Will, is other than giving you a +1 to attack rolls, what does a +1 rune unlock for your weapon?
A potency rune slot.
Yes. So
Wait, so I
potency,
need to unlock runes?
you need a rune to unlock runes, yes.
Why?
Because your
That's how progression works.
yes.
It's
That's
just
how it works in every
a limited
system aside from
progression,
hero
that's all it is.
system.
Keith, do you play games that are RPGs?
What?
Do you play RPGs?
Yes, I play RPGs.
Modern
Usually
or what?
determined. Me putting in a new rune doesn't usually open up another one.
Well,
Okay.
What if it's a
okay,
slot?
Key. Yeah, think of it more as. Oh, here's a good way of explaining it. Think of it as a weapon with a +1 rune gets like a materia slot type thing. You know, you get an
What?
extra, like from Final Fantasy VII. Your
Yeah,
weapon.
usually more materia is you get a new weapon.
The potency part of it is literally on the rune that you attach it to.
Yes. So to
And you
give
can
you.
customize.
So they're even called potency, weapon potency, and armor potency +1. So they unlock potency runes, or property runes.
Yeah, sorry, it's property runes. My mistake.
1 second, I gotta take this call.
Go ahead.
No problem.
All right. If you see the web, you're on the website that I linked to you, right, Keith?
Not.
Can you get on that real quick?
Sure. One.
Okay,
And then
so
I can whittle the
essentially, Keith, if you add, it's like adding a socket to something. So like,
Yep.
you get a +1 to your attack rolls. Plus now you can throw your dagger and it'll come back to you.
Yep, pretty much.
But they cost
Yeah,
an
right.
additional gold. And more importantly, while +1 does the same thing across all weapons, certain weapons have access to different property runes than
Yeah.
other weapons. For instance, you can't make a bludgeoning weapon deal bleed damage, or a ranged weapon.
Uh-huh.
It can do poison damage though. Oh, sorry, the arrow,
Well, yes, but that's because of the poison alchemical item, which poisons suck. We'll get into that in a different lecture.
All right, Keith, as soon as you get on that, you can whittle down your search results. If you
Edit.
Or,
all right,
or you can just look at the runes that are corrosive, flaming, frost.
it's just that there's a lot, and like it's best to whittle it down to ones that we can already get. That's my mindset.
Well,
of that.
yeah, but like those are probably the best ones, and I'm always okay with you having a basic corrosive, flaming, frost, or shock rune.
Corrosive, flaming shock, or corrosive, flaming shock, or
Frost.
frost. Corrosive, flaming shock, frost. Corrosive, flaming shock, frost.
Not let me.
Of course,
filter.
another thing you could put on your stiletto pen is the returning rune, which allows you to throw it, and then it comes back to your hand, like a reverse
Like a boomerang.
flying Rajan. Yeah, sure.
Actually,
Like a
looking- I'm-
boomerang, but except it magically teleports back into your hands, unless you crit
Ah.
fail, and then it magically teleports back at your feet. Returning is fun. Other ways we've abused runes in the past has been with a property rune for an accessory. Our favorite accessory rune here is the called accessory rune. Party Bank.
Pretty vague.
Yes, the Party Bank. Put a rune onto everyone, then put a different rune onto a bag of holding, stitch them all together, and you get a bag of holding that can hold items that every member of the party can use an action to grab.
Okay, so how can I learn if crap? I did instead of opening a new tab. If something is a property rune.
Well, on Archives of Nethys, you have two different you can go to runes and find weapon property runes and armor property runes.
So armor potency 1 lets me add an extra.
Property rune.
So
Plus
it's
you
a
get
rune.
+1 to your armor. So it
Wow.
does two things. It gives you a +1 to your armor, and then allows you to put a property rune on your armor.
But it itself is also a property rune.
Well, no, it's not
It's
a
a
property
fundamental.
rune. It's a fundamental rune.
Their properties.
Considered it a
Consider it.
like a rune that you can write more stuff into.
Oh, here's a good example. It might give you properties, but it's like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
I need to be an expert in crafting. No.
Yes, you need to be an expert in crafting for what, actually?
How many runes can I have on a armor?
You can have
I-
one armor potency, one resilient rune, and up to the number of property runes as you have plus 3. So you can have
Okay.
+1, +2, +3, and when we get into higher than level 20 stuff, +4. So
Okay, lost.
Let's look into what we can get for level 5 before
level 5, you can get a
Yes.
armor potency rune. I think I already have that on your sheet because
Yes.
I allow you to get one level higher, which
Do I
gives
have
you
that on
a
my sheet?
yes, I think so because you have
Thank you.
yeah, one. So this allows you to get +1 to your armor, and most importantly, you can pick up an armor property rune, which I think your armor has an invisibility rune on it, which allows you to turn invisible once per day.
Doesn't look like.
Who are you talking to? Are you talking
No,
to
it does
Keith?
not. So you can get an invisibility rune that allows you to cast as one action once per day. You get invisibility for 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
hold
then-
Yeah,
on.
that's actually really good for like an entire the round takes like 3 seconds. Or sorry, 6 seconds.
Yeah,
And so that's like
10
an
rounds.
entire if by round 10, by the time you get your 10th turn
The
in the
real
battle,
reason this is good
Although, like,
is for a different reason.
although
No!
wait,
Now,
second,
I'm going.
second level spell, it's fine, but like,
Hold on,
invisibility- level invisibility is
Will.
not that
Hold
good in
on.
combat.
Hold on, Will. Hold on. This is good for a different reason, Will.
Yeah.
And it's not combat to be used.
Yeah,
this
no,
is
it's
not
good
to
for
be used in
utility.
combat. This is to be used for
makes sense.
utility or to GTFO.
Yes, that's literally what I was about to say. But
I
before you
realized
cut me off.
Sorry about that, Will, but I am giving a lecture. But let me read this to you. I'm going to explain why this is sometimes better than the regular second level invisibility spell, but I'm going to ask it in the form of the question. The light seems to partially penetrate this armor. Activate. One action. Command. Frequency. Once per day. Whispering the command word, you become invisible for 1 minute, granting the effects of a second level invisibility spell. Explain to me what about that wording is better than a regular invisibility spell. Frequently.
Can you say it again?
Random words.
Activate. One action. Command.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
One action?
Yes.
One
One action.
Okay,
Yes.
wow, that's good. I just realized, yeah.
It can't
yeah,
be
I
put
just
on
did.
medium armor or heavy armor, by the way. That's why it's a property rune.
So basically, stuff like that, Keith.
Yeah, and he
Really?
still doesn't need it because she just makes invisibility potions.
You
Those
can.
but an invisibility rune gives you the ability not to be dependent upon someone else making invisibility potions.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, regardless, what other questions do you have about property runes? Keat?
I'm not doing it.
What do you mean you're not doing this?
I'm not having 30 different people give me a lecture at once and
I
say
am-
things.
I'm trying to help you, Keith.
Yes, we are trying
Right.
to help you.
I can't follow it.
Well, in
what's
that case, everyone, step back into your seats and let me continue my lecture.
no? Okay, go ahead.
What you said about the invisibility thing was gibberish.
What do you mean? Well,
When you,
I mean, I want to follow where you're losing me.
all of that was gibberish.
Okay, can you be a bit more specific?
Yes, I was. I just said it.
How
What
is
about
all of
what
that
about
gibberish?
what part of
Well,
that
what
is just
before that
What?
was the part where you were explaining what's the like better bit about this, and then you just listed off a bunch of random words.
Oh no, I was reading the text of the invisibility room.
That was all gibberish.
Okay. Aside from that, do you get what the difference between a property rune and a fundamental is now?
I still don't know how many I can have on a piece of armor.
You can have that's what I was trying to say. You can have, so if you have +1 armor, you can have, so each piece of armor can have 1 potency rune and 1 resilient rune. There are different levels of those. A potency rune of +1, which you currently have, allows you to get 1 property rune. If you had +2, you could get 2. If you had +3, you could get 3.
So all I'm
potency, resiliency, more potency, more slots. Need
Let him ask his question, Sass. Please step back into your
no.
seat.
I'm go ahead.
I know you're trying to help, but he's saying it's hard for him to follow. So, what's your question, Keith?
So you said, I believe, 3 types of runes there. When I look on Nethys, I see 2.
There are, yeah, so in fundamental armor runes, there are 2 types of fundamental runes: a potency rune and a resilient rune.
I'm not seeing that. Oh, yes, there it is.
Yeah.
So I can have 2
You can have,
Fundamental.
yes, 2 fundamental, but they form different roles. And based
Oh.
upon your potency rune, that's how many property runes you can have.
And the potency rune is itself a property rune.
Did it say that? It's a property.
I mean,
It's called property. It's not called potency. I misspoke.
It's a property. Okay.
no,
It's called
no,
property root.
no, it's
It's
called
under the label.
so,
Under the
guys.
category.
So,
Yeah.
what do you mean by a potency rune as a property rune?
What if
No,
I go
I'm
to the...
just saying the category.
guys.
Oh.
I'm talking to Keat. Please calm down. What do you mean, Keat?
So where in the subcategory would I find the property rune? Or the prophecy? Whatever it was called, potency.
So
It's
potency
property.
is under fundamental runes.
What? No, it isn't.
Yes.
You go to runes.
Yeah, it's under fundamental armor runes. Please, Will, literally, give me a second. Yes. Will,
So
give me a second. You're confusing. So under fundamental armor runes, you have potency and resilient runes.
Oh.
and I can have
Then go
one
ahead.
of each of those.
You can have one of each of those. And depending upon what level of potency you have, if it's a +1, you can have 1 property rune. If it's a +2, you can have 2. If it's a +3, you can have 3.
Potency gives way to property.
It
Yeah.
says I can see armor potency +3, and it says I can only have 1.
Well, yeah, because you only need. Yeah.
One second. 1 second before you go off on your own.
Go ahead.
There.
The armor's item bonus to AC by 3, and the armor can be etched with 3 property runes.
I see that. I was looking at the top. I forget that they group them together. And that's
Yes. That's, guys. There's a
Making me
reason I'm
confusing.
saying give me a second, because I might be able.
No.
Like, he is being talked at by 3 heads. He just needs the 1.
No. Go ahead.
So, Keith, what other questions about runes do you have?
Well, that's it.
Would you like a recommendation of what you want to
No.
put? Okay.
Are you saying you want to try and succeed or fail on your own merits?
Yeah,
Wow.
every once in a while.
Amazing.
I'm really told not to do that and to choose something else.
Well, to be fair, the Ring of the Ram is very, very mid.
For me to learn by pressing it and nothing happening.
I mean, I did let you press it, and
All
nothing did
right.
happen, but maybe I'm misremembering. Who knows? Do you
We can
have
do that
questions
for
about
every-
magic items, Keat? Or
I
as they're
have
called, worn items?
I have no idea if I have questions about magic items.
Well, in that case, we'll go back to the Socratic method, because I still have a lecture to fill to get time for Carl to be here. So, Sass, go ahead.
I don't know.
Keat,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
I'm gonna put my own property rune on my arm.
Remember, it's only a
I
level
think
5.
I put a
so-
+1 on your armor already, Keat.
Oh, that one, but that gives me a property rune, doesn't it?
Yep, so you can choose your own property rune.
Okay.
So,
And you can be
Sass,
elemental.
what does an Apex item do?
Usually, it's like the culmination of like the signature item that you were given.
That is a pinnacle
like a gun.
item.
Oh, sorry.
Apex item is an official Paizo term. The pinnacle items are something I made up to give you guys some more fun
Apex.
tools and more
Pinnacle or
thematic
different from
relevance.
Apex.
Yes,
Let me-
Apex items are a particular category that items have. And I will read off to you. When you invest an item that has the Apex trait, it improves one of your ability scores. Or if you use one of the ones I make, 2. Either increasing it by 2 or to a total of 18, whichever grants the higher score. This gives you all the benefits of a new ability score until the investiture ends. An Apex item grants this benefit only the first time it's invested within a 24-hour period, and you can benefit from only one Apex item at a time. If you attempt to invest an Apex item when you already have one invested, you don't gain the ability score increase, though you do gain any other effects of investing the item.
This stuff is a high level. This is at level 17, 18, 19, 20.
Yes.
Of course, when Matt gives, he allows for some of this at lower levels.
Yes, because sometimes I like throwing higher challenges at you.
Mhm.
The rule about acquiring an item is whenever your GM gives it to you, you can invest it. That,
Yep.
but whether or not I give it to you is the question.
What was your question, Keith?
You mentioned invisibility. I'm not seeing that.
Oh, let me go back to runes for a second.
Rune.
I'm looking under armor property runes.
So how is it sorting for you?
I'm looking at everything from level 6 and below. So there's like 12.
Oh, it's not gonna be a-
Invisibility is something I always allow at lower levels. This is like, yeah, it allows you to GTFO. It's a level 8 property rune. But since
Level
it doesn't give you I won't let you get access to... So, my personal list of rules I allow players to use at any level they are able to buy it is invisibility, shock, corrosive, flaming, and frost. Also disrupting if they don't have access to it, ghost touch, and returning. These are what I consider core runes that you should always consider if you have the ability to.
Always consider if I have the ability to. So basically, like,
If you have the gold, you should be allowed to consider a returning rune on your dagger, or an invisibility rune on your armor, if it's light armor or explorer's clothing.
Do I have the resilient thing?
Resilient is one of the runes that I let you get a level beforehand.
Okay, so I wouldn't be there yet.
Yes.
what
But
level is
not
Resilient?
every GM has this opinion, and the GMs that don't have this opinion consider it.
For this Matt's home ruled that house ruled. I don't know the fucking term.
House rule, yes.
House rule that we can access these 5 categories at any time as long as we have the money to.
Yes. Which
And of
I
course the
feel is
spot,
important because sometimes your players won't have the money for it at a lower level, But also, if they have the money for it on a lower level, there's not really harm in it. Yes, an extra
I
dice
have
of damage
20,000
might
golden
be
points.
more difficult to deal with, but if you have a disrupting rune, you're already doing that to undead. And I do the one level lower than it because in society it's if you have the thing in your if you have the thing on one of your little chronicle sheets, you can get it one level lower than normal. Or 2 levels lower than normal if you're a level 1 character.
What level can we typically access resilience at if we weren't house ruling it?
Level equal 2.
Level equal to.
So 8th level characters and whatnot. But I house rule for the enjoyability of the people I play with.
And then we get it at level 7 instead of 8. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Because I
I mean,
also know, as someone who knows the system pretty well, I can make things that are absolutely dumb and you'll have a hard time dealing with if I don't give you options.
It'd be interesting if I get
Which
the
you
invisibility.
might argue is a bad GM move, but I argue if I can pull it off.
If you can pull it off, you can get away with it.
Yes.
Now, here's the next thing that I have trouble with.
Mm-hmm.
Getting this stuff onto my character sheet.
Drag and drop is nice. You can go to that little eye and add the thing to your compendium.
From the compendium.
I think the invisibility rune will give you the actual thing. Let me test that very quickly. What rune are we going with?
What you going
Well,
with, Keith?
either the invisibility or quenching.
Ooh, quenching. Staunching's not bad either, but
I haven't been bleeded yet.
so staunching is the same thing but for bleed.
No, I haven't been bled yet.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. Also,
so you
it's
can allow
persistent
this.
fire and acid is what quenching
This
does.
is a level 6, right? So you're allowing this to level but prior for like quenching.
Yes. Well, first of
Okay.
all, I will add on to the list of runes. I would always allow with a level of money. Quenching, stanching, glamored.
Quenching.
Literally, if you are
stanching.
going to oppose your players getting a glamored rune, grow up.
Glamour
I
did
don't know.
not.
I have no idea what that means. Glamored. Okay.
You hide your armor, basically.
Yeah, you can hide your armor or take the matte or shadow approach and just wear more fashionable shit.
But we are not a
Glamorous.
group, so I don't see the need to hide my armor.
I'm gonna take the glamour slot and take the celebrity archetype. I'm gonna be so famous.
Well, quenching is definitely valid. So is staunching, considering your next thing.
I don't like that foreshadowing.
Staunching is a level
But
17
Keith,
thing.
since you've discovered the quenching rune, why don't you tell Sass about it?
This
Yeah.
rune counters burning and corrosive attacks. What it does is it lowers the DC to stop it from a 15 to a 12.
Oh.
And
Cool.
and it lowers it even more if you have effective assistance. To the point where the true staunching armor stops bleed damage instantly if you were to get hit by a Searing Restoration.
And as you raise level, you can get more powerful versions of it that lower the check even more.
Oh,
Amazing.
speaking of staunching and quenching, it not for acid damage, but for fire damage, you might notice I put spout on a lot of your character sheets. That's because I will let you spout yourself, and I will literally just negate fire damage instantly. That's particularly effective to the point, like if you're hitting yourself with an attack to stop bleeding, to stop being on fire persistently. That is not something I came up with originally. That's something that happened to me in a society session. I'm like, hey man, can I use this cantrip on myself? Make the saving throw, or not make the saving throw. Take the damage and get rid of this persistent fire. And he said yes.
Well, I can just spout myself. I guess I'll get the invisibility rune.
Invisibility is nice, because you might have to run with your tail between your legs for this next boss.
Let's
Now, how
go! I
do
love
I
my
drag the
tail.
rune to?
Another item you might consider picking up at this moment in time, which I will allow for arcane casters, are like I can get the little thing. I think the different rings for different casters are going to be in homebrew items.
It doesn't look like I can drag it.
What?
It doesn't look like I can drag it.
Not wait. You can't drag the invisibility rune.
I don't think so. Where am I supposed to be dragging it to?
The item list.
Item
Which
list.
one? Worn items?
So in items, I put it on worn items. You might notice your armor's not there. That's just because I applied the armor manually. I'll fix that at a later date.
Hold on, let me try something to make this work real quick.
Are we gonna have time to introduce Waylon as a character?
We will make time,
Ah,
but we're not
that
quite
was
there yet.
that was the problem. I had it opened in another tab, and it wouldn't drag over to it.
Oh, yes.
You're tracking it from another tab.
But you might see the invisibility rune. There you go.
Well, I dragged over the invisibility rune.
Yeah.
So, what happens if I use this in a fight?
Well, a second level invisibility wears off if you hit something, but you get flat-footed on that one hit. But
Oh, okay.
alternatively, you can make use of this for a different reason. That is, you commanding your Eidolon and boosting your Eidolon and buffing people is not a hostile action.
Oh, alright.
So you can play Who's Commanding the Invisible Dragon?
Oh, I need to look how much that was.
Why did you put it in held items instead of worn?
No, you put it in worn items.
No, you put my stuff in.
Probably because I
500.
was being somewhat lazy.
That's
When
all
I
right.
do it with
That's all right.
multiple characters. Anyways,
No!
back to the list of magical items. Another thing I personally allow, even though they're rare items, sue me. I personally view these items as relevant enough to make on other types of spell lists. So I have a Rings of Magic, magical traditions, that is currently a Word document in the homebrew items that you can open if you're not an arcane caster. Because minor arcana is something I recommend for arcane casters, as well as
Hey,
a
that's
Ring of
me.
Wizardry.
I'm an arcane caster.
I have magical tradition. I have rings for other types of magical traditions. And again, you might be thinking to yourself, these give an extra spell slot or cantrips. You're right. And if you are giving players challenging enough fights for characters that are built well enough to handle challenging fights, they'll want those. Because, you know, there are good uses for spells, and sometimes you just don't have enough spell slots.
Now, how do I add a +1 to a weapon?
You do that. You would add the runes to your character sheet, or no, you'd add the runes to your character sheet, but they're already technically on your weapon itself.
Is it?
Yeah, if you go to your weapon, you notice that your stiletto pen and your unarmed fist both have a item bonus of 1 and 2 dice, which is what a +1 striking weapon does.
Item.
No.
Okay.
Plus,
Well,
for the other
item.
property rune, like if you were to put a flaming rune on your fist or a returning rune on your pen, you would probably have to add the damage from the flaming rune manually. Roll20 is not the greatest about that.
And the way I know it has striking is that it's a 2d4.
Yes. Greater striking would be 3, and major striking would be 4.
So is it the weapon potency one that lets me put a fundamental a property rune on the weapon?
Correct.
Woo woo.
Okay, I'm going to look at those.
So
The more you know.
other magic items, aside from those that I personally recommend, is, despite not always being in Pathfinder Society, I think Wayfinders and Aeon Stones are something you should always allow characters to have access to. This is not something Paizo might recommend, but I think that are a Wayfinder-like item, because socketing Aeon Stones is great. Really great. Another one Aeon Stone I recommend for every character is a Pearly White Spindle. Pop quiz, Sass. What does the Pearly White Spindle do?
There's a thing that lets us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 1 HP per minute, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if I'm saying it takes 10 minutes to get from A to B, you get 10 health from that. Or if you're refocusing multiple times, you get 10 health per refocus.
Wow.
Yes. Boots of Elvenkind, Cloak of Elvenkind, Boots of Bounding, Boots of Speed, Bracelet of Dashing, Bracelet of Missile Deflection. I'm just giving out a list of items that I would personally recommend. Another thing.
Buy an item? Wow.
Another thing I personally recommend is we've got Coyote Cloak can be useful. Crafter's Eyepiece can be useful. Glasses of Sociability I hand out at all times for free because
Glasses
I'm a bastard.
Of sociability.
Yes.
Yes.
Glasses of Sociability. One action. I know this person. Remind me what their name is.
Wow. Okay.
The fact is that that item was created because Paizo knows people like me exist. So I hand them out for free. They also give a +1 item bonus to Diplomacy. Typically, item bonuses do not stack. I ignore that rule because fuck you.
So let's see. What should I get? Staunching or flinching?
Some other items that are particularly good. Medic's Gloves, Hand Wraps, are a magic item. And those are how you increase damage on your fist. If you are making a fist build, Hand Wraps. If you do not have Hand Wraps, what is wrong with you? Well, you could be using a variant rule, but yeah.
This rune counters burning and corrosive agents. It's staunch them.
There are also several... Oh, Dinosaur Boots are good.
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get the quenching run. Okay.
There's also magical staffs. What do you know about magical staffs, Sass?
You know how I use a spell book for my other for Raphael.
Yes.
You can use a staff in place of a spell book, and
Not
I believe. No. Oh, frick! Damn it.
So you can pour in. You can prepare spells into a staff. You can also not do that. The difference is you would have the staff on you to cast spells, or alternatively, you can give up one of your spell slots and put it into a staff. That gives you charges equal to the level of spell you put in.
I can give one of my spell slots into the staff.
Yeah.
And have it. Per day?
Per day. One spell per day, and you also get... So typically, for a staff, you get a number of charges equal to your maximum level of spell slot. Then, on top of that, you get additional charges equal to spell slot you sacrifice. In order to use a spell on a staff, you have to use an appropriate amount of charges equal to the spell's level. Staffs are complicated. They're not as broken in other systems, but that's because the Magus exist.
I put on the claw.
What did you say?
Magical.
Ringo?
I put claws.
You mean like So your rune from your you could put a plus one. You can put a rune onto your hand wraps. That would put a rune onto your Eidolon's unarmed strikes.
Okay.
You could also choose a different weapon per day if you so wanted to, but your Eidolon would only have those property runes active if you were wielding the weapon in one hand.
I want to use. Well, I don't have hand wraps.
Yeah, you do.
Where?
On your mother.
Why aren't those on my hands?
Because that way your Eidolon gets 2 dice instead of 1 dice.
What?
Your unarmed fist is based upon your hand wraps.
Oh,
Did you already put a potency rune on my half plate
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
I
Well, I
want
didn't put a property rune on it, but I put a potency rune on it.
Yeah, I'll put a proper rune on it. Oh,
on the hand wraps.
What did you say?
I want to put fearsome on the hand wraps.
Yes, and then it would translate over to your Eidolon as well.
Okay. So I just drag fearsome over to the. Okay.
Yep.
Then I think weapons and armor are updated.
And you can do that with your Eidolon too. Your Eidolon also gets a stat bump at this level, by the way. I forgot about that.
Also get
congratulations to your little buddy.
Does it also get the invisibility?
I don't think it shares. I don't think it has the benefit of sharing with you armor runes.
It.
Boo!
We know it
Boo.
does. It just doesn't share potency runes. Sorry, not potency, property runes. Blah.
Pete, I was updating BRB stats. Sorry
I
about
was
that.
just.
Yes, I apologize. We had mixed signals. It is your character sheet, but I do have that in the build. I'm just trying to open it. And I think this was...
Alright.
No. No.
This
No.
room. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, 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 no.
Another rule to aspiring GMs I recommend you implement is what I call the 5-second rule. Where if you are having a player who is unresponsive for more than 5 seconds and there's not an enemy beneath them, delay them. That way combat can keep moving even if someone's not there. If there is an enemy below them, increase it to a minute.
I thought about Bane, but I think we're fighting mostly human people.
Yes.
What would you recommend for... I should put a resilience rune. What would you recommend for as a rune for my morning star?
I would recommend a bleed rune.
Bleed.
Yes, wounding.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Look at all these runes. I don't understand.
My main problem isn't understanding this stuff that we've gone over, though you did help, of course. My main problem is the exporting to the sheet.
Sometimes you're going to have to do that manually. It's a pain. If you need my help with that, I can do that. But copy pasta is your friend in those moments.
Copy
Other
paste.
times, you can drag something like the rune over to the weapon. In this case, it doesn't look like the rune itself copies over.
But like, for example, I will forget this by the time I need to actually do it again. But if you tell me, like, you get one thing to increase in skills. There's 3 different places to put a number.
Item. If
So
if you get an item bonus from Ring of Minor Arcana to Arcana, you put it in the item spot.
Like when you level up, sometimes you can increase a skill.
Oh, when you level up, instead of going... So, for instance, you might notice down here... I forgot to do it with BRB, but you go... So, take a look at the rank. Trained, Expert.
Okay.
That make sense? That's how you increase your skill.
What if I get an increase to ability? or a saving throw?
Then so for a saving throw, you'd go from. I don't think you have this yet, but you go from trained to expert,
Well, I'm
and
just
so
giving
on. And
example.
for an ability modifier, you would increase if it's over 18, you would increase it by one. If it's 18 or over, you increase it by 1 point score base. And if it's under 18, you increase the score base by 2.
Okay.
A wounding rune. Wow.
Yes, wounding runes are a little dumb.
All right, I'll put that in the Morning Star. I can put some stuff on my gauntlets, but I'll just put this for the Morning Star.
I did not see wounding.
Oh yeah, I need to
Wounding
put a
is. I would
That's when you up
recommend.
your criticals.
So, since you're
That's
unarmed
cheapest.
strike,
What level is wounding?
it's
Yeah,
something.
wounding is
It's
your
wounding is
basic
another
wounding.
thing I allow, but it's 6th level.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm
That's
a
not
bit.
fifth
Fearsome
level.
is probably better though, if I'm being honest. Also, your Eidolon gets expert in its attack rolls.
Now, what
I'm
are
level 5, Matt. I don't think I can take this.
Yeah, I'll let you take wounding. That's one of the ones my many devil details.
now what
Devil
are
details.
Attack rolls. So, for instance, your jaw and your claw. So I'm gonna put them back to train. Why don't you give a shot at increasing them?
Hit me.
what are you asking me?
So your jaw and your claw strike now have an increased rank and proficiency. They're now expert.
Well, I see this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know, but that part I understand. Well, at least I think I do.
So you're asking, how do you know when X thing happens?
Yeah.
Was that a yes? Sorry, my audio is weird.
Probably yes.
So I've recommended to you before Path Builder.
I looked at Path Builder.
Path Builder will help you if you set your level to 5. It'll show you how things change.
Okay.
Another thing I have opened up to all of you by giving you a link to a particular campaign on Hero Lab is Hero Lab. Hero Lab can help you with all the details Path Builder does not have because Hero Lab has special details with Paizo.
We
Where
can
is
do
this?
free archetype.
Because I am giving you my compendium on Hero Lab, yes.
Woo! Thank you.
But the main thing Hero Lab helps you do is they help you with figuring out stuff that like what's your ethnicity as a frogman? What is your what languages do you speak? It helps you with all these little details.
Is this link?
Personally, I use Path Builder for all of these things because they're not those things. Go ahead.
Where is the link?
I think I sent it to you via DMs.
He sent everyone the Hero Lab link in DMs.
Yeah, Hero Lab join. You're gonna have to create an account, but I believe that due to my particular level of subscription, you guys can use everything I have.
Okay.
Sign up for a free apprentice account.
So I'm gonna.
Free apprentice account. And I am not an apprentice. I am a patron, which allows me to give you my stuff.
You got what I need.
And Hero Lab is something I would recommend using on your computer. It's not that great on phones. Another reason I use Path Builder a lot for this stuff.
You got what I need.
If you want something you can use more from your phone, Keat, Path Builder is on all Android operating systems and is a one-time purchase of $5. Pathfinder is great.
Oh, I have to pay $5. Okay.
What I didn't like about it, but I remember thinking, this is too much for me.
It does take some playing around with. I think I recommended it to Meme Name, and Meme Name plays around with it every once in a while. It's not the easiest thing to use, mind you, but it gets the jump thing that is more. It's quicker.
It certainly is quicker. Well, I
Plus,
haven't seen the
for
other stuff.
magic items, if you are magic itemless, I'd always go to Path Builder. Hero Lab is expensive.
Really?
I don't have every magic item because Hero Lab is expensive. If you
have
need
to.
Hero Lab is a buy book, buddy. The reason I use both is because Hero Lab is so great for society. And I played and GM'd a lot of society.
Your device nickname.
Yeah, that's a weird part to it.
And check my email.
Do I need?
Just put in literally anything.
Put in your mom.
Because, yes, it requires it. But, it's literally just so, like, hey, this device is, like, this is an approved device. Because I think you can have a list of, like, you can only have a certain number of devices active at a time.
Alright, I've confirmed. Let's try logging in.
Wait a
Carl
minute.
is very
It says
late today.
it may take up a full minute for your account to finish being relayed to our product server.
Yeah. Okay, announcements. Let's close those. Confirm join campaign.
I need a device name? Okay.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's worth it. Plus, you're not paying a dime. This is this is one of the many GM gifts I like to give to my players I've known for a long time. It's very useful.
Thank you very much.
Information.
Another thing I will point out is they added mini mancers. So if you are making a fresh level 1 character, they'll do a lot of the work for you from now on Roll20.
How do they do that?
So you type. So far, it's only the advanced player's guide classes, which are a bit buggy, and the core classes. But let's say you create a new character sheet, you type in barbarian in the compendium, you drag and drop the class, you drag and drop the ancestry, and it'll put in all of the stuff you choose for both.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Sample bar. Yeah.
Is it working for you?
It's not currently a thing for a summoner yet, but they're working on it.
I'm well past level 1.
Could you put the I need GM confirmation?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay, let me
try to create a character.
Let me approve you guys very quickly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we can take this boss with 3 guys.
Oh my gosh!
Is it a bar?
Information that I've just found.
The boss is a swashbuckler who can manipulate people's luck. I don't think you want to. Like, if this gets to the point where it's 8 o'clock and Carl's not here yet, we'll get started. But I think this little detour has helped you a bit, Keith. So I view it as valuable still.
As soon as he gets access to what he can use his money on, he's like, I can solo the boss. Let me at him.
I've got one striking motherfucker.
Well, I think for now that'll conclude our little lecture today. We'll see you guys in a bit for the actual show. Say goodbye.
Bye.